Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Cambo.
Hello, Nelson. See, I want to match your energy. You always come in big, and then I come in very low energy. So I thought that I should be doing the big hello as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's about time.
Yep. How do you feel? I'm I'm getting a cold reading. You were taken aback, but generally, are you into this idea?
Try more energy next time.
Well, here's my immediate fear. Now that I've thought about it for even a second. This is my immediate fear is that it will just become, I'll go bigger than you, so then next week you'll go bigger again, so then I'll have to try and top that, and it's just going to end with us screaming at the top of an episode. That's not going to be inviting to new listeners.
You know what? Could be a catch. Hey, have you heard that weird podcast where they just start screaming at each other like instantly? Nah, check it out. It's super fucking weird.
We're just
gonna know why they do it.
We'll
really off-putting.
We'll get a bunch of horns to go off at the beginning as well. It just starts with horns and yelling and screaming. Yeah. Which is I think.
Well, that's all the time we've got for today.
I do think that does encompass some parts of Reddit pretty well, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're still a Reddit-based podcast.
Yeah. They screamed. They were half informed about everything.
No, actually, on the podcast, I have some unfortunate news. We are going to have to shut it down completely. I started a new job this week, and the long story short is my boss asked, "Hey, you've got a pretty good mic set up. What's the go with that?" And I was like, and I was going to say I use it for gaming, which I do, but that's not the real reason. I was like, I also don't want to lie straight up to my new boss. So I said, I've got a podcast. And he goes, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I thought it might have been for a podcast. And then he ended up asking what it was called, and I told him. Oh, no. Anyway, so he has listened to an episode, and I'm on probation now, so. But I think we should shut it down because one of two things. We shut down the podcast and I keep my job, or I get a new job / the listeners just pitch in and all pay me enough to do this.
This becomes your job.
Great. This becomes my job.
It would be interesting.
It won't get any better, just by the way.
But it would remain. It would continue to exist.
It would exist. It would be here still.
I would have loved it if you had an interesting reflex, which is you're like, oh, it's for a podcast. And the boss said, what's the podcast? And you went, it's called Escape This Podcast.
Yeah.
And then
pretty different.
In your own head, you're like, that's interesting. That's interesting that I did that, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to have to get a wife called Danny and convince them that I've used my alias Bill.
Yeah. You're going to have a quite an awkward conversation with your partner and explain why at any future work function you will be referring to her as Danny from now on.
Yeah. And if she could be real into puzzles and stuff, that'd be great.
If they ask you what Neil Patrick Harris is like, just tell them that he's great, he's so accommodating.
Yeah, that's right. I'll have to pretend I'm such good friends with him. Oh my God, this whole lie that I'm getting into. You know what? It's better than what I did do, which is say the actual podcast. You're in a smarter move. Smarter.
I feel say, how old is your boss?
Well, now you put me on the spot because if I guess way incorrectly,
well, just give us an age range.
21. Yeah, probably about 21. No, I don't know. Probably
bit older?
Like, I would say late 30s to like 40s something.
Okay, let's just hope that listens to a small dose, goes, not for me, and never listens again.
Let's hope so. Anyway, we should get into it, Cambo. I've got a Reddit here, believe it or not.
Great.
It's by the Ken Dog. And it was in the subreddit Cool Guides. Now this is it has a title to the post. It says how not to behave in 15 countries.
Ooh, lovely.
So I thought, considering the pandemic is practically over, FYI, we're recording remotely again because we're in another effing lockdown. People might be traveling soon. Definitely in the next 15 years, people will probably travel again. Mm-hmm. So
we've got 15 country advice for 15 years time.
Yeah,
you've got a whole year to learn each of them.
Remember this stuff. Over the next few years. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the country.
Yep.
And then tell you what not to do in that country, or maybe you can guess. Some, not the random ones. Chile. What do you want to guess? Nah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I feel like all this is going to do is shine a light on my absolute ignorance to so many countries and possibly just insulting people from those countries.
Here's what I reckon. What you shouldn't do in Chile is make puns that like it's always cold. A bit chilly. That'd irk me.
It's funny.
I was a Chilean.
My head instantly went to the other pun, which is like hot. Like, it's a chili.
Yeah. But that's harder to work into a sentence. Oh, you like chili? Like the hot peppers? Yeah. Anyway, they're both terrible. But what you actually shouldn't do, Cambo, is don't eat anything with your hands. Manners are more formal in that country.
I would love this list to be vetted by people from the said countries.
Here's the thing, Cambo. We're going to get to one.
Okay.
Not Australia, but we're going to get to one, which you'll be able to understand, I feel like, whether these have been vetted or not.
Okay, right,
So
great.
Hang in there.
I look forward to it.
Hang in there. Yeah.
What a hook for the listeners, Nelson.
Yeah. Could there be some good content later? We'll find out.
It's always a possibility.
Yeah. By the way, if in Chile they don't eat pizza with their hands, I'm never going to that country. And that principle alone. I understand. Okay, anything else, that's fine. I won't have to eat it with my hands.
Sometimes it's the phrasing, I think. Like, the vetting of this needs to just be phrasing. Because it says, never do it. But it might just be like, it's less common.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm sure, like...
How about, like, an apple? Like, they're not...
Exactly.
They're not cutting up an apple. Or are they? Oh, my God. Here's what I've learned so far. Chileans, insane. Okay. Okay, Croatia. Don't raise your thumb, middle, and index finger all at once.
Oh.
You'll be mistaken for a Serbian nationalist.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. I mean, that's very uncommon to do.
Yeah.
Although it's on Inglourious Bastards.
Well, I was going to say, my only recollection of the thumb and the two fingers to make it three comes from Inglourious Bastards, in which they say that is the German way to say three. I have no idea whether that's true or not, but I've always just considered it to be true, I suppose.
Yeah. Who knows? Or really, in that movie, they were against Serbian nationalists, and we missed the messaging. Yeah, completely.
Tarantino's like, didn't you get the satire about Serbian nationalists that I put in there? I thought it was quite biting, to be honest.
It makes sense now. I only finally understand that movie. Actually,
yeah, we don't want to look stupid, so we're going, oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Singapore. I think I do know one of these ones, so I'm going to see if you know one of the ones from Singapore.
Okay.
Can you think of anything that might be you shouldn't do?
No, not necessarily. Nothing that springs immediately to mind.
Okay, one I've heard, which is now actually not here, I've realized, but it's illegal to chew chewing gum. Something like that. Okay. I think I've heard in Singapore. Anyway, but it says you can get fined for a lot of things. This includes feeding birds, spitting, smoking, eating on public transport, and littering. I mean, some of those things seem legitimate. But,
Wait. So go over that list again.
feeding birds.
Yep.
That's unusual.
That's unusual.
But I sort of appreciate that. Again, they poop everywhere.
Yeah. And also, like,
fend for themselves.
Also, like, you need to feed them appropriate things.
Yeah, probably.
Like, if you're feeding them small Panadol tablets, they can explode.
Yeah, that's true. Spitting? Sure.
Yep. Makes sense.
Can you get fined in Australia for spitting? Probably.
This is what I'm trying to work out.
In the wrong place. Surely you could, right?
Yeah. This is what I'm trying to work out, whether or not this seems unusual to be fined for. Spitting doesn't seem that unusual. It's quite a gross thing to have done in public.
Yeah. It would definitely depend. No, I don't know. I think I'd get weird.
It depends. I think the difference is, can you get fined and will you get fined? I think if you were to spit in public here, they would probably realistically be like, hey, don't do that. And let you off the warning. But you could be fined for it.
That's probably true. Yeah. Because, well, I was thinking, like, I remember a time specifically where I had, like, a bug fly into my mouth and I instantly, like, spat it out. And I was kind of on the footpath, but there was somebody ahead of me and they were like, oh, they looked at me and they're like, that was super gross. I was like, yeah, I know it's gross, but, like, what am I going to do? Yeah. This was my only option. So, but yeah. Smoking is another one. That's good. I'm glad that you can get fined for that.
Just smoking smoking in general?
Yep, no smokers in Singapore.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that to be a thing.
Definitely.
Because it's the same. We have very strict smoking laws here in this country.
Yeah.
So it is very possible to get fined for smoking here. So again, I don't think that's out of the ordinary. It just depends where. Maybe. If you're smoking in your own house and they kick in the door and go, hey, none of that, and fine you, yes, then it's crazy. Other than that, if it's causing some kind of public nuisance, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then eating on public transport. Nah.
Yeah, I don't think we'd get fined for that.
Yeah.
And
littering.
Littering, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like saying, do you know you can get fined for jaywalking? Yeah. It's a law.
We've gone through 3 countries and there's quite a bit more. So let's speed this up.
Power round.
India. Don't kiss in public. You could end up in jail. Oh, that's pretty intense.
That means you and I never going to India because when we're out sightseeing, we love a bit of kissy.
Love a bit of smooching. No physical contact with the opposite sex. Don't shake hands or hug unless a local offers. So I'm assuming this is not with like somebody you're with.
So was that still in India? This is just the expansion of the rule?
Yeah. This is another one. Yeah. Okay, fair enough, I guess.
Not a fan of the PDA.
France. Don't expect a huge amount of vegan options. Not many French are vegans, and few accept the practice. That's interesting. I mean, I feel like it's veganism has like sort of not been accepted like everywhere, and then it's like slowly coming in. So I feel like France is probably just a little bit further behind, maybe.
I think that our country is a country that is very proud of their like barbecuing reputation. And for instance, one of our popular meat pie brands brought out a vegan option, which upset a certain subsection of our society, shall we say, here in Australia. To which everyone else went, it's what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Again, our stance on this podcast remains: we're not vegan, but we're pro-vegan.
We're pro-vegan, exactly.
But we're not vegan, but we are pro-vegan.
Don't mistake us for vegans. How dare you? But we are pro-vegan. Can't stress that enough.
We understand it completely. We support it. We're just not it.
Don't talk about money. This is still in France. It's taboo. Which is just the most genius thing upper management has ever done.
Don't talk about money. It's taboo. Makes paying for anything at like a restaurant or anything very hard. They come over like, salary. It is the end of the meal. Is there anything you want to do?
And me as an Australian tourist, guess I'll just go home now.
And they can't even talk to you about the money. It's taboo.
Unless there's something else that you want to talk about.
If you can ask me specifically for something, I'm more than happy to do it. But until you ask me specifically, I'm going to head out.
Don't think, I think I'll go.
I tell you what, Nelson, tell you this for nothing. We're going to France when this pandemic's over.
Oh, yeah.
Cheapest trip we ever took.
Yeah, we're gonna be smooching all over the place as well. Okay, don't expect people to speak English. Again, this is France. The French education system does not focus on teaching foreign languages, which is interesting because, like, as an English speaker, which I don't do very well, I definitely just assume that, like, every country has like a level of English speakers.
That is the arrogance of the English speaker, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
To be like, I'm
very aware that's an arrogant thought, but I still have it.
The concept of, I don't know any of your language, but surely you know my language.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. It's English. The big one.
Yeah. We do all the Marvel movies, guys. Guys, they're all in English. Think about whether you should learn English or not, and then think about the Marvel movies that are done in English.
What are you going to do? Dub them? What? All of them?
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah. That goes. Although, you know what? I just realized. What's that? Well, they remade it anyway with Kevin Hart.
Oh,
what's that French movie?
The Untouchables.
The Untouchables, yeah. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
And in French, goddammit.
If only they dubbed it in English.
Okay, again, I have to go quicker.
Yeah.
Cambo. Jesus Christ. Okay, Japan, don't tip. It's not part of the culture. In Australia, don't tip. It's not part of our culture.
In fact, it's it's a bit condescending.
Yeah, exactly.
To be like, oh, you've done well, champ. Here's a couple extra dollars. Like, I earn a very livable wage, thank you very much.
Yeah. How dare you? No, you know what? I'd take it. I'd take that back.
Oh, yeah.
When you come to Australia, tip me once, specifically.
All right, move on.
Don't hug people you just met.
I wouldn't.
People don't like it. In Japan. I wouldn't do that in Australia either. Well, actually, it depends. If it's like somebody's partner, you know, sometimes it might be like they just sometimes. Anyway. Don't stand on the wrong side of the escalator. Do what the locals do. I really wish that the rest of the world caught up on escalator etiquette the way that Japan has got it.
I feel like the world should catch up on a lot of Japanese etiquette. They seem very, very organized.
Yes.
Maybe not their work-life balance etiquettes. I like my work-life balance.
I was going to say, I think like ages ago we were actually like really pro like Japanese work lifestyle. Then turns out I've learned in the last couple of years, not so good.
Not so good.
and really, really bad. But I think they're working to improve it though, is what I've heard. So that's something. Gotta think of those positives. Mexico, don't patronize people.
Okay.
I mean,
you know how like when you're in England and you can just patronize whoever you want.
Patronize anyone.
Don't do that in Mexico. Apparently they don't like being patronized.
So weird.
Yeah.
So weird. This is so weird. Okay. The little blurb under that says, it's a developing country, so don't imply that you're better because you're a foreigner. Okay. Right. Okay. I guess that's a bit more specific. But also just don't patronize people. But then they've got, don't be easily offended. Mexicans have a big sense of humor. Nothing is off limits, except patronization, apparently.
And here's the thing. I find it amusing that someone has listed Mexico as a developing country, especially for us who's from Australia, which is one of the youngest nations, I think, in the civilized world, to be like, oh, they're just developing, guys. You know that ancient Mexican culture? They're developing.
Don't be afraid to try everything. Mexicans love when you try to speak the language or participate in customs. Okay. New Zealand. Okay, Cambo, this is the one that's really going to be an eye-opener for the rest of, you know, for this. Don't confuse Kiwis with Aussies. They don't like it. I'll read you all of them. Yep. Don't make fun of rugby, Lord of the Rings, or the Queen of England. New Zealanders Take all 3 of these seriously. And then the last one, don't freak out about people not wearing shoes. It's normal.
Well, only one of them is true. Never badmouth the Queen. Absolutely never badmouth the Queen. We love her. Oh we love the weird incest family. We love that they're probably really racist. We love all that.
Yeah. Admittedly, I don't know heaps of New Zealanders, but I would say that I know enough of New Zealand culture to say that the Queen of England almost never ever comes up. I would say comes up in conversation the same amount of times it comes up in just Australians' life, which is barely ever.
Occasionally, someone will be like, "Is Queen dead? She dead?" Google it. Oh no, she's alive. Yeah, okay. Huh?
Yeah. Now, normally
is Philip alive? Oh no, he's dead. Okay, Philip's dead. Queen alive. Okay, good. I won't Google this again for several years.
Yeah, and then it's several years later, and we're like, she's got to be dead by now, right?
She's so old.
Yeah, that's how the conversation has started for the last, 2 decades. Is us starting the conversation with, the Queen's definitely dead, right? Quick Google. No. Okay, move on.
I would also say, in the don't call a New Zealander an Australian and vice versa thing, we have a friendly rivalry nation to nation, but largely outside, I would say no one cares.
I think nobody cares at all. Again, it's like New Zealanders here, but pretty sure they don't actually give a shit.
I think we know that we sound very similar. Just like I'm sure Americans and Canadians must know that they sound pretty similar. It's like, Ryan Reynolds is a Canadian. Could have fooled me. He sounds exactly the same, Like,
yeah.
It's kind of like that. We're like, we get it. We sound very similar.
Oops. Even if everybody just heard a loud bang, I hit my head against the microphone.
In anger.
But even just the, don't make fun of rugby or Lord of the Rings either. I'm so certain that, probably as a country, percentage-wise, a lot of people love rugby. Are they going to give a shit if you make fun of rugby? I just don't think that much. And Lord of the Rings, what the fuck? Are you insane? Of course nobody's going to be going around being like, oh my God, I'm so angry about that you've flipped off Lord of the Rings.
Okay, now that I know the level of these rules, it retroactively makes me think the rest of them are probably a bit racist. Yeah. Because if their thing is hey, New Zealand, don't make fun of Lord of the Rings, it's their religion. It's that's very shallow what you've just said there.
Yeah. And don't freak out about people not wearing shoes. It's normal.
Yeah. Depends where. Depends where.
One. I mean, I guess. Yeah.
It's not that normal. I've been to New Zealand. Most people wore shoes most of the time.
Yeah, I'm going to say, people still wear shoes.
Yeah.
But maybe I guess I suppose percentage-wise, you see more people without them, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It just seems like a weird thing to mention in general, but I don't know.
I would have said something to know. They call their cooler, as Americans might call it, or their esky, as Australians might call it, they call it a chili bin.
Yeah,
that's an important thing to know. Don't
insult them about that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, they are
especially because their accents say cholly bun, which is very funny.
Bun? yeah, it's pretty funny. There's a ton more countries, but we should legit just move on. Maybe you know what? I'll do the United Kingdom as well, just so one that we might also maybe be familiar with. Don't cut in line. Queue jumping is considered a big deal. Don't cut in line anywhere.
Don't cut in line anywhere. I would say, isn't this also very true of Japan?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Japan has quite a strict queuing etiquette.
Yeah.
But again, it implies that if you go to Germany, you can cut in line all you want. No one really cares.
Yeah. That's true. It's dumb. Okay.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this list is probably a big old pile of bullshit.
Big old pile of bullshit. The problem is, if one of them is correct, and we, if we start patronizing Mexicans, egg is going to be on my face. Should have listened to the list. Don't ask how much money someone makes. instead just ask other related questions.
So what I would do is I would pull up various expensive items and go, could you afford that? Just wondering, could you afford this?
What sort of car do you drive?
Yeah.
Fancy one.
Yeah.
Right. Are you renting that? Is that a loan?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so weird. Why would you? Okay. Anyway, don't invite someone to your home. That is, unless you know them very well.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of somebody that I would invite to my home.
We have a London correspondent, don't we?
Probably. Yeah, we've got a relatively decent UK audience.
Yeah. London correspondent.
I would like to tell,
whoever you might be, vet some of these. Have you ever invited someone to your home that you don't know extremely well?
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm thinking. Hey, want to come over?
Yeah.
Yay or nay, are you offended that I asked?
Yeah, great litmus test.
Yeah. You're welcome to come over anytime. They must be so angry. Okay, Jesus Christ. We need to move on to Ask Reddit.
Ask Reddit.
This Ask Reddit is by cross-posted to us by Avant Cardigan, but it was originally by Kerpa, but it's Kerpa. What intro to a show was such a banger that you would never skip it?
Yeah, I saw this during the week on Reddit. I want to say one thing is that I'm watching The Sopranos for the first time at the moment. Never seen it before. And I did see this come up in a couple of comments. And I just want to point out, I love to skip an intro. Absolutely love to skip an intro. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever fully watched The Sopranos intro. It's like a minute.
Not even once? I feel like you need to do it just once.
Maybe.
Okay, now I get it.
Maybe I've done it the one. I feel like I've seen it before. Because it is quite an iconic intro. It's like a minute and a half long. Tony's driving through various parts of New Jersey and Newark, all the way up to his house, through the docks and stuff. The song plays, I get it. But I think that streaming has killed the long intro.
It has, yeah.
If you look at shows that streaming makes, especially in the last few years, they all have unskippably short intros.
Yeah.
And I think the last streaming show that I can think of with a really long intro was Daredevil. Daredevil used to have quite a long introduction, and that's a very early days Netflix show before I think they realized people's love of skipping intros.
Yeah. It just became so irrelevant.
Yeah. Get rid of it.
It was like, oh, as soon as the world was awoken to the idea of skipping an intro, we were like, oh my God, turns out I've never needed to watch this. We all worked out collectively.
The show, I think, gets away with it too, and they're related. One is The Simpsons, the other one is Futurama, because they have specific gags in the intro that change every episode. So I imagine that some people would want to see what's the couch gag or what's Bart writing on the chalkboard. I don't care. I skip those intros. But
what? You've got to watch the couch gag, you idiot.
Well, you know what I noticed?
Idiot.
In some, because the couch gag is the very end. And I'm pretty sure on some, I don't know if it's true of Disney Plus anymore, but like on some services like Plex and stuff, if you have the episodes there, they skip to the couch gag.
Right, okay, yeah.
Like that's the beginning of the episode.
They know what's up.
You know what came to my mind first when I read this question initially? An introduction I used to love, and I don't reckon I would skip it if I was to rewatch it, is Malcolm in the Middle.
Really?
I used to love the opening credits, the song, and the cool intro of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah. I actually, one that I really liked, and they ended up really leaning into it, actually. I haven't watched this show in like years and years, but the show Weeds, it had a cool song at the start. I don't know what the name of the song is, and maybe it was their own creation, I'm not sure, but it goes like, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky little boxes, and it's like just this cool like upbeat tune, But then what they started to do in later seasons was every episode they got a new artist to cover that song.
Oh, that's cool.
So the visual was like always the same, but the song, I think they just realized people loved how kind of like cool that little tune was.
Yeah.
And so like, all right, let's lead into this, get a new artist every single episode to just do their own rendition of the song. And so there might be like a heavy metal cover. It's like little boxes on the hillside, little boxes. And it was just like, it was really cool sort of thing that they did say.
That's a cool idea. I also think the more prestige the show, especially on premium cable networks like HBO and Showtime, so Weeds is a Showtime show, the more they feel they have the right to have an obnoxiously long introduction. By the time they're on the last season of Game of Thrones and they knew everyone was hooked, they could take 3 to 4 minutes on an intro if they wanted. Just showing bits of a map. I've never memorized the map.
Yeah. Yeah. No one was interested in the map.
No.
That's true. But at the same time, I felt like because that sort of that theme song was like such a kind of build up. I actually feel like they were smart in doing it because you are kind of annoyed, but at the same time, you're like, getting into the episode. It's pretty cool.
I knew there were some people that really did watch the intros like very, very hard. Then there were people that would be like, oh, did you notice now that they've gone here, this section now shows up on the map and they've changed what's on the map there. And I'll be like, I'll be honest with you. I think I semi-black out during the intro of that show. And I've never noticed anything in the...
I think I noticed some of those changes, to be fair.
So you're a big old nerd.
I'm such a Game of Thrones nerd.
You love Daenerys, don't you?
Cambo, you might remember, and I'm not sure if I bragged about it on the show before, but I did pick that they would...
You did.
The new king would be... I don't even know his name anymore.
Yeah, that wiener kid.
The dude in the wheelchair. Do you know what it will also get you? I reckon. I was thinking about the starter show is like Community, right? Mm-hmm. Which has another cool upbeat song. You know what? I've realized it's all about the upbeat songs as to whether I will like sit through them or not. And I mean, I'd still skip that one eventually because got boring. But it had the little like paper thing that like switches,
little drawings.
You do in like school. And what they would do sometimes is they'd get you with like a Halloween episode and they'd change everybody's names to like funny things and there'd be different images.
Yeah, if it was a special episode of some kind, the drawings and the names would change.
Yeah. And then I'd be sucked into watching it. And then I feel like I've wasted like minutes of my life being like, oh yeah, there was a funny skeleton this time drawn on the thing. Like I didn't really need to see that. Anywho, here's another one. This is by It Was Fucking One of Yous. That is an Australian user if I've ever met one. And they've asked, what is the most unforgettable Reddit post that everyone needs to read?
I think I have 2 answers for this.
Oh, okay. I thought that you might not have one. I was going to go through some of the comments, but
I was going to say the honest answer is none. You can live your whole life without ever going on Reddit. Like, my mom has never been on Reddit. You know what? She's had a great life.
Yeah. But he's saying unforgettable. So he's saying that you are already a Redditor. It's not going to change your life. Yeah. It's just unforgettable.
The other one that sprang to mind is the infamous thread on this show. We won't go into it. But it involved coconuts. And it involves 2 things: coconuts and more people than you'd think. There are the 2 interesting factors about that post.
Well, I hit my head against the microphone.
What's happened to you? You've lost all podcasting etiquette and you're just slamming your head against the microphone.
Yeah. It's I apologize. No, I don't. I don't care. Okay, so this one was by Yoda's Chick O Stick. They said the pregnant woman who was being investigated by CPS. What's that? Child Protective Services. Because of the father's past charges of drug possession. The CPS worker came to inspect her home and told her that her baby would be taken away from her at the hospital after birth. She posted on legal advice, asking what to do, and people told her that CPS does not investigate pregnant women, and the worker was a poser. Had those Redditors not helped, her newborn baby would be abducted and taken.
Wow.
God knows where. That's insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. That is so... That actually scares me because I wonder if she actually like reported this person or got this person arrested in some kind. Because if not, she probably just did that to the next pregnant lady she found.
I'm also fascinated by what the follow-up would have been in that situation. They come to the hospital being like, we told you we're going to claim the baby. And they're like, actually, you're fake. And they would have been like, just back out of the room.
Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that she could have,
confronted them.
Put a sting on.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope that's what she did.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And the baby is fake. You know, she's holding a little rag doll.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or the baby was in on it.
Yeah, the baby's in on it.
Yeah.
You let her take the baby. Raise it till it's not an annoying age, you know? Like around, I don't know,
21.
18. Then have it back again.
Yeah.
Sucker. They had to do all the hard work.
Yeah, you had to pay for all that schooling.
Okay, here's another one. This is by Samet12. There was one where a guy wanted to have an open relationship with his wife. The wife was against it, but he convinced her just so he could bang this one girl on Tinder. Well, the Tinder girl ghosted him while the wife was bringing a bunch of dudes home. Everyone was calling him a dumbass, and rightfully so. Yeah. I would be terrified of this. Not ever in my life. Let's say just all of a sudden let's say it's Sarah Michelle Gellar, you know? I'm going as far as to say it would be her, right? And I'm obviously honest with my partner. So I'd be like, look, the only way I'm going to sleep with Sarah Michelle Gellar, she said she wants to. I've got a text message that, you know, I'd do this as if we have an open relationship. I don't think I would actually ever get to that point because I'm like, maybe I get to sleep with Sarah Michelle Gellar once. But I imagine, obviously, my track record, Sarah Michelle Gellar would get disappointed real quick and then hightail it out of there.
Yeah.
And then my girlfriend, meanwhile, is like picking up all these other guys because, I feel like she'd just have way more success than I would.
That's the thing.
Terrible idea.
I think we're both not afraid to admit we bat above our average generally.
Yeah.
Don't even that playing field.
Yeah, exactly. This is a terrible idea.
The scales are in our favor right now.
Yeah.
Keep them that way.
And I feel like most guys are the ones to be batting above their average in a relationship, you know? So I think this is a dumb idea for any guy to do. This is by Gold Rush, but with a 0 and 1 instead of the O and L. Cambo.
Very cool.
So think about how smart that is. There was a story about how a diving location is one of the deadliest in the world. OP describes what happens when people go in there. The chilliest part is the last line, which goes something like, "You have died in clear waters of calm. You have died in clear waters of calm seas in under 4 minutes." I'll try to dig up that post. Don't get it. Sorry, should have vetted these beforehand.
I don't really get that either.
Yeah, it should have.
And to speak about how wrong I think this comment is, I've already kind of forgotten what it was about.
Yeah.
The other two I remember quite vividly, but this one is, it's going. I can feel it leaving my mind.
We can answer the question, what's the most forgettable comment on Reddit next week?
It was this one about a calm water or something.
Something. Anyway, Let's move. Oh, Jesus Christ! I could have skipped that one, Cambo. We've been going for so long. I could have skipped the one that I didn't vet. Damn it. Anyway, let's move on to Today I Advise. So now it's time for Today I Learned. What Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This Today I Learned was cross-posted to us by Just Judging Reddit, but it's originally by Not Orus. Today I learned that a lightning bolt has enough energy to cook 100,000 pieces of toast.
Wow.
You know what? The main reason why I bought this one up, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yep.
Thought it'd be more.
Well, here's a hack then, I think. Have you ever been away with a group of people, maybe at a holiday house or something like that?
Oh,
and breakfast comes and toast really, what it does is it holds up the production line of breakfast.
Somebody gets a cold one as well by the end normally.
Maximum you're getting a 4-slice toaster. If you're some kind of rich person, you're getting a 4-slice toaster
of sorts.
And you got 10 people in, let's say it's the average of the 2-slice toaster. You've got 10 people to get everyone a bit of toast. Like normally people want 2 bits of toast. It takes a while. Toast is getting cold. If you set up some kind of you want to arrange your holiday when it's terrible weather, obviously, and then set up some kind of rod to attract the lightning and place your toast all around. Yeah,
I've got an idea. Kite. With a key attached to it.
And toast. and a loaf of bread.
That's just hanging off there as well.
Hanging off there.
Yeah. You might need some sort of metallic container to put all the bread in.
Yeah,
maybe you can,
a metallic bread bin.
Just loop them onto the string.
Yeah. Would a metallic bread bin work?
Oh, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. I have another question. Mm-hmm. Did Benjamin Franklin, was it him?
I think it was Benjamin Franklin.
Sure, let's pretend that.
Yep.
Maybe he was just trying to toast some bread, mate.
The thing is, you would need enough, because if you have, look, what's a loaf of bread? Like maybe 20 slices of bread?
Yeah.
And this does how many hundreds of thousands? Is it 100,000 or 10,000? What was the number? 100,000, I think it was.
100,000.
100,000. Yeah. If you are only toasting 20 slices of bread with the force that could toast 100, you're probably going to burn that toast.
Yeah, it needs to be evenly dispersed among...
You need a field of bread.
Yeah.
With what you need is... Okay, what you need... This is how you do it. What you need is obviously a big tent, because you don't want the rain affecting the bread.
Okay.
In the tent, in the middle of the tent, sticking out is a huge pole that is there to attract the lightning. And from the pole is a sliver of wire into each bit of bread.
Yes.
And that goes out 100,000 slices of bread, 1 bolt of lightning, instantly cook 100,000 bits of bread.
We've actually solved the issue for soup kitchens as well. Because, believe it or not, they also have the problem of finding enough toast.
Yeah. Those
lines would go way quicker if it was just scoop out a bit of soup and then grab a piece of toast and go. But, everybody's just waiting for the toaster to pop.
I think that we can really solve a lot of bread-related shortages or toast-related shortages in anywhere that is built for mass consumption.
Yeah. China, there's a lot of people there. Yeah.
We're going to go set up bread tents in China. That would be a fitting end if someone's like, whatever happened to the Reddit on Reddit guys? They live in China now, exclusively running bread tents. And I think that everyone would go, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I always knew they'd do something really weird.
Yeah. We have had ideas that legitimately could make us money.
Yeah.
But
this one.
end up going with this one because it's just more on par with our brand.
Yeah. Though, does this too closely link us to the podcast we deign to speak about, Breaded on Reddit?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we obviously couldn't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
What else could it cook there? Maybe you could cook like chickens, whole chickens. Surely.
That's true.
Not 100,000.
We need to do experimenting. Yeah, it's 100,000 bits of bread, but how many chickens can it roast?
Yeah. I imagine the problem with this is the Hamish and Andy podcast. One time, they went to cook a lasagna in
a volcano. Yeah.
Yeah, and they said the problem was they put it in for like, I don't know, a few seconds, basically. Put this kind of like tinfoil tray or something in lava. And then it was burnt on the outside.
But cold on the inside.
It was super cold. I feel like we're going to have the same problem with these chickens.
That's not our problem.
We're not eating them, obviously. But boy, will we sell them.
We don't mind waiting 40 minutes for a chicken to roast.
Yeah. Okay, we should move on, Cambo, to shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought was cross-posted to us by Avant Cardigan, but it was originally by Chubby Woke Goblin. I'm a little upset early humans didn't domesticate elephants, like how wolves became the humble chihuahua. I think this is really... this would be cool. Like, I wish that society had domesticated way more animals, because there are some cool ones out there. Like, baby elephants are super cute.
Yeah.
Imagine if you just had one, like they didn't grow any bigger than baby
Well,
elephants.
yeah.
It's like the biggest they got.
My
That'd
question
be awesome.
was going to be, so a wolf to a chihuahua, that's quite a size different. How small do you think we could have got the elephant? Because a baby elephant is very cute, but it's still quite big to have in a house.
Yeah,
It's still about as tall as us.
Yeah.
Not quite as tall as us, but you know, they're a big thing.
Yeah. I think with selective breeding, you could get them pretty small.
Could you get them small enough? Like if you owned an apartment, you could still theoretically own a small dog. Do you think we could have got them small enough?
There would be a group of people that find that ethically wrong, and you would be shunned in society. But yes, otherwise you could technically.
It would solve the problem, I think, of, you know, like pets obviously get replaced through a family's life, but elephants live quite long, don't they?
Yeah, they might. Oh, they might live maybe to the same amount of years as humans. Maybe.
Yeah, well, like, because like a dog is maybe 15, 20-ish years, but an elephant could.
Up to 70.
Yeah, so an
Some of
elephant
them.
could be a lifelong family animal.
Yeah,
Like
that's cool.
You get an
Unless
elephant
it's a
when you're
dick.
you get an elephant when you're 10. You've got
Yeah.
that elephant until you're like 70 years old
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It would really suck. Adoption would be such a problem. Like,
Yeah.
there would be so many abandoned elephants because just occasionally you'd get a dick of an elephant. Imagine if you were stuck with Megs for your entire life.
Oh my god!
The worst
It
cat
feels
in the world.
it feels an eternity already.
Yeah. I think elephants would be cool. Any other animals that you think? I mean, obviously, right? There's like cats that like, because lions and stuff like that, they're really they're so cool, and so like a mini version of them would be great. But I'm not sure if there is like, I don't even know if this is a dumb question, but is there like a long lineage domesticated version of a lion? Like, does that exist in the cat world?
I don't know. Like
I just love this cool idea of having like a normal cat, but it's just got a huge mane.
Yeah.
I just think that would just be the coolest like thing.
I
want
reckon
that cat.
you could just buy a mane and pop it on a cat.
Yeah, you could. And you know what? Probably elephant costumes for cats too.
Did you know that elephants use kitty litter? I never knew that. It turns out.
Yeah. Okay, so that's obviously the other thing we're selling: uncooked chicken and
Elephant costumes.
Elephant cats. You know,
Yeah.
nobody knows they're cats.
Yeah.
Anything else you think we should domesticate?
Ethically, I don't think we should be domesticating anything else.
Why not? You like dogs, Cambo?
I do, and I think like dogs and cats are so far down the process that we can't really like to reverse it now is kind of probably just as unethical to make like to get rid of breeds of dogs and stuff.
I mean, all we'd have to do is just everybody agree not to have one. I don't think that would be mean, right? It's just like, well, we'll just stop breeding them.
But then you're kind of just wiping out types of dogs, aren't you?
That we created.
Yeah, but I'm saying now that they're existing, they're animals. You know, like they've got every right to exist.
Yeah, but not if you. I'm not saying we kill them. We just don't because we humans breed them.
But what you're saying is, if you see two German shepherds mating, you're like, stop that! No more German shepherds.
No. I mean, you let them go at it, but I mean, I feel like society creates way more than like nature
is necessary. Right? Okay, yeah, so only natural births.
Only natural births.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm one step closer to getting rid of dogs forever. Cats, we can still breed those, obviously. Okay, let's do another one. I forgot what we were doing for a second. I was just trying to think of lots more animals that I could domesticate. How about a whale?
Well, what about monkeys?
Oh, yeah. Monkeys are like too much
intelligent.
Like humans. It's kind of a bit weird.
Yeah. It's not far enough away down the evolutionary chain for it not to feel a bit weird.
Yeah, it is a bit. It's a bit weird.
Nothing with opposable thumbs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I saw this guy actually. I think it was on Reddit. Maybe. He had a pet alligator. Oh. And it was actually got the license to be a support animal.
Is this the guy that like floods part of his house? I've seen a video of a guy that has a pet alligator, and he's got like a sunroom in his house, and he's flooded it, so the alligator has this entire part of his house now.
Right? No, I don't think I saw that. But he was legitimately like just picking it up and like rubbing its belly like a dog, basically. But you could tell, like, that it did just kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is such a weird animal to connect with, but it's really cool. Anywho, here's another one. This by OK Advice. A probable reason Batman doesn't kill is because Wayne Industries profits off the goons' medical expenses after being treated at a Wayne hospital due to a Batman-related injury.
I would counter with he doesn't kill because his parents were killed and he knows the impact that has on people. But that's not as fun, is it?
Well, here's the thing, though. I think that what happened was he started spending all these parents' riches, and an advisor, Alfred, was probably like, hey, Bruce, you're not Batman
He's
yet.
Like, Alfred, stop doing that in public.
He's like, hey, Bruce, you running through this money real quick, and I get paid a pretty nice wage. I don't want to be going back to the supermarket like a chump. I think you should start beating people up and charging them for it. That's how I think it happened.
Especially in the American medical system. He'll be making a mint.
Yeah. We'd be fine here. I mean, Batman wouldn't make any money.
Because think about this, not only does he break their bodies, but he probably destroys their lives financially. which is a longer term, you know.
Yeah.
In a way,
be able to come back after that.
It's worse than any beating you could have given them.
Yeah.
Is crippling debt.
Isn't it often a cycle, you know? Some people that like need money, so then they resort to crime, and then
it's true. He's not a
cycle.
He's not. In a way, what Bruce Wayne should have been doing with his money is starting community programs and really like helping the society through other means. Because if anything, he's perpetuating this cycle of crime.
For the first time ever, I sympathize with the Joker. I've only just realized he's the victim in all this.
He was
also
pushed
giving me.
I was going to say, he was pushed into that chemical vat. He probably had to pay for those medical bills. Robs a few banks to pay for the medical bills. Batman comes to beat him up. Back to the hospital.
Just an endless bloody cycle. This is what I was thinking, though, for this one. Is it's given me a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
We, as the podcast, should sell antidepressants.
Okay.
Because I think if there's anything that we cause, it's depression. And how do we profit off that? These pills.
Right.
And that is the end of the cycle. We cause people to feel they listen to this and they're like, why am I doing this to myself? You know? And then we're like, hey, we've got something for that. Antidepressants. And then they're like, I feel great. I might listen to this shitty podcast again.
Well,
it's another cycle.
Here's my fear is that if someone is truly happy, would they come back to this show?
Yeah, because I think at a certain point they might feel invincible.
Okay, right.
Like, I'm going to test this. But little do they know just how crushing we are mentally.
You've quashed my fear, and now I think it's a foolproof plan.
Yeah. All you need to do is listen back to some of our episodes and you'll understand.
Especially some of those early ones.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. God help you.
We've got a listener at the moment that's been contacting us through Facebook. Who's like keeping us updated on the episodes that she's gone through. I'm like, man, how is she doing this?
She is too far back for my comfort in our episode list.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I feel that older version of Nelson and Cambo were dirty and disgusting.
We must be heaping all kinds of praise on Elon Musk at that stage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you.
Anywho. All right, Cambo, let's move on to podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped!
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another podcast, and we do it ourselves.
Yes, this week is my week, but I'm actually using a recommendation from GM Ebony off our Discord. They recommended that we podden up Actually, which is something that took me far too long to work out. Isn't a podcast. It's a YouTube series. So I searched for quite a while on different, I'm like, maybe is it not on Apple Podcasts? That would be weird. But, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And then eventually I did find it on YouTube.
I feel like those things are interchangeable now. In fact, I keep getting ads for your podcast should have video.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, probably.
What are you going to do?
Like, get it. Yeah. Not click this ad, that'll obviously help.
So the premise is it's a fact-based YouTube show in which a statement is read that has something about it that is not true. And it's all based around pop culture, nerd culture, TV shows, movies, stuff like that. And it is your job, Nelson, after I've read this statement, to say, actually, and correct the incorrect thing in the fact.
I'm going to be terrible at this.
I've got about 9 or 10 here. I have one which I think is kind of a famous one, a bit of a litmus test for you to see how it all works.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
A couple that I have made up, and then I ran out of them, and I copied them straight from the show itself.
Good. Smart.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
And I realized that the ones on the show are way harder than the ones I was doing.
Oh, okay, good.
And then at the very end, GM Ebony has actually submitted their own for you as well.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So here's what I'm going to say is a simple one, a baseline, and this maybe will tell you how hard a time you're about to have.
If I get this one wrong.
Because I think this is almost the cliche of actually. In Mary Shelley's classic horror novel, a scientist creates the monster Frankenstein using unorthodox scientific experiments.
Actually, the scientist's name is Frankenstein, and the Frankenstein that you think is the monster?
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Do I get extra points for being a little bit sassy?
No, I think that's expected. You would lose points if you weren't.
If I wasn't, oh no.
I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me what the creature is called.
Oh, I thought he was just called the monster.
Yes, so there's a bit of a debate here, which is that, the creature is what he's referred to as, but in some sections he is referred to as Adam.
I think
in that he is the first one, though some people say he's never directly called Adam, he's just referred to as an Adam.
Right.
So that's up for debate. Yeah. So you would have got an extra point for Adam. Here we go. Here are some ones that I have written. Doctor Who was a long-running British TV series in which Doctor Who travels all around space and time in their blue police box called the TARDIS.
Actually, his name isn't Who.
Well done.
Oh, thank God. I was a little bit worried that there was going to be something else there.
No. The name is?
The Doctor.
The Doctor. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
You made me panic again.
Their name is Adam. Imagine, that's been a big mystery of that show. What is the Doctor's real name? Imagine if it just turned out to be Adam.
Yeah.
Here's another one. In the shocking ending to the movie The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader reveals the terrible truth of Luke Skywalker's lineage when he utters the famous phrase, "I am your father, Luke."
Actually.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing that I think you're trying to bait me with, maybe. But people always say, Luke, I am your father, which he doesn't say. People just say that. But you didn't say that time. You said, I am your father. I think that's still not correct anyway. I don't know what he says, but it's not that. So, actually, it's not that.
Look, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
It is correct. That is not the line. The line is actually, no, I am your father.
Oh, right.
Because the line preceding it says, you killed my father.
You killed my father, yeah.
So it would be weird if he went, Luke, I am your father. He says, no, I am your father.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. In the book, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it tells the story of young Charlie Bucket as he takes a tour of the famous chocolate factory owned by the mysterious Willy Wonka.
Oh, shit, that was it? Okay. Can you read that again?
Yep. In the book, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it tells the story of young Charlie Bucket as he takes a tour of the famous chocolate factory owned by the mysterious Willy Wonka.
Shit.
Actually.
Okay. Actually. I think it might have been the title of the book. Can you read it? Sorry, just the first bit.
In the book, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it tells...
Aha! It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory! Yes!
Well done. The book is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The movie is called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, okay.
You got there. I believe these are now ones that I pulled from the show itself. And I've tried to tier them towards stuff I think you're interested in.
Okay.
Willow, played by Alison Hannigan, and Oz, played by Seth Green, play a witch and a warlock involved in a long-term relationship.
Actually, he's a werewolf, not a warlock.
Well done. I knew you'd get that one.
See, the confident ones, I'm way more sassy. The unconfident ones.
Yeah, the other one, you're like, actually. Here we go. Another Joss Whedon. Captain Malcolm Reynolds and the crew of the Serenity have plenty to worry about. Criminals, outlaws, and former rebels man the ship, putting them on the wrong side of the Alliance, and the backwater planets they travel through put them often in the path of Reavers, a deadly race of alien marauders that torture and devour their prey.
Shit, so much of that was accurate. It's really annoying that one thing is wrong.
That's one thing I've discovered is their ones are much longer. And there are points in which you'll be concentrating on something and maybe miss it.
Yeah. So you did say the correct name of the ship, which because GM Ebony, is it Ebony? I forgot.
Yep, GM Ebony. Yep.
Has gave us a sample, and that was the one to get wrong. Let's see.
Yes, we should say from the television series Firefly, and a lot of people assume their ship is called Firefly, but it's called Serenity. Yeah. It's a Firefly class ship.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, can you... You're going to have to read that one again.
I'll read it, but only one more time.
Oh, no.
Captain Malcolm...
Read it slower.
Captain
Please.
Malcolm Reynolds and the crew of the Serenity have plenty to worry about. Criminals, outlaws, and former rebels man the ship, putting them on the wrong side of the alliance. And the backwater planets they travel through put them often in the path of Reavers, a deadly race of alien marauders that torture and devour their prey.
Oh, is it that they're not actually aliens? Oh! Yes! Yes!
I'll give you...
That was such a small detail.
I'll give you an extra point if you can tell me what they actually are.
They are humans that got... there was a chemical which were meant to make people really passive, I think.
Yeah, there's a simpler way to phrase this.
It made people really angry, and they were, I don't know, they're poisoned people? I don't know.
They're mutants.
Oh, mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know. That seems weird to me, to say mutants, because mutants I feel like is more... maybe because I just think of X-Men, I feel like mutant as being like a thing from birth or something.
Okay, right.
But I guess technically not always true.
Yeah, you can mutate.
Yeah, you can mutate. Yeah.
So this is one specifically for you. I don't understand this. Okay, I just want to point that out.
Okay.
It's about Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Okay. While for most people the distinction between a wizard and a sorcerer may seem trivial, for the players of Dungeons and Dragons the difference couldn't be more stark. While they both rely on intelligence to determine their potency of the spells,
incorrect. Sorry.
Wizards arrive at their expertise through study and the use of spellbooks, whereas sorcerers carry a magical birthright conferred upon them by an exotic bloodline, some otherworldly influence, or exposure to unknown comic forces.
I'm sorry, I kind of ruined that one. And I tuned out literally everything because I had already picked up that actually sorcerers use charisma for their spell casting.
Well done. Well done. Oh, this, oh boy.
Makes me super nerdy, doesn't it? I wish I hadn't got that one wrong.
Pretend you didn't know it.
Yeah.
There's two more. Black Panther, the superheroic alter ego of Prince T'Challa, makes his first appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the movie Captain America: Civil War. His solo film, shot predominantly in Atlanta, Georgia, was also shot internationally in Argentina, Wakanda, and South Korea, and it stars Chadwick Boseman reprising his titular role.
Ah, shit. It could be so many things. I'm really uncertain about this one. I mean, it could be one of the locations that it was shot. Can you name those locations again? Just
so
locations.
It was shot predominantly in Atlanta, Georgia, but also shot internationally in Argentina, Wakanda, South Korea.
Oh, Wakanda. Yeah, that's not a real place. Sorry.
Well done.
Yeah. I didn't really breeze over that the first time you mentioned it. But
I was very surprised when you actually breezed past that. I was like, oh my God, am I going to get him here?
It's because in my head, I was trying to think of the first time that he appeared.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was like, maybe that's the thing I should be paying attention to. Anyway.
So this last one is from GN Ebony themselves. And I really hope I got this right because they did update it a few times to try and make it as factually correct as they can in other parts to not trip you up unfairly.
Okay.
It's to do with Dota 2.
Oh, no. Okay.
In Dota 2, there are over 121 champions each with a distinct personality. Each is captured by by excellent voice actor Nolan North, known for a variety of popular voices, including Nathan Drake, voices Brewmaster, Gyrocopter, Earth Spirit, Meepo, Keeper of the Light, Lone Druid, Lycan, Ogre Magi, Shadow Demon, and Troll World. Enough to draft an entire game of Dota 2.
Actually, it's Troll Warlord. I got it, guys.
No, I think that may have just been mine.
Yeah, it was, but I'm gonna claim that one. Also, it's Ogre Magi. There's so many things. No,
what did I say? Magi?
Magi, yeah. No,
Right,
it's fine. I'm just trying to get a win here. Okay, now there's maybe a technicality, and I'm not sure if this is it and what you're trying to trip me up on. But you said there's over 121 heroes, but there is actually.
Oh right, yeah, no, that's not it. I actually think G and Ebony maybe even updated that. Maybe I just haven't pasted it in.
Yeah,
because the number 121, exactly the number 121 was something that they were like, oh, sorry, it's 121. It's 121.
Right.
Yeah,
because okay. Anyway.
But no, that isn't the error. I think that's just my misphrasing.
Okay, so it's probably to do with one of the voices that he doesn't do. Okay, can you quickly just go over the names of the characters that this guy does, who I don't really know?
You don't know? Even I know Nolan North, and I don't play video games.
I mean, not like I know the characters that he does, but I don't know.
So Nolan North, it says here that he is known predominantly for doing the voice of Nathan Drake. He also voices Brewmaster, Gyrocopter, Earth Spirit, Meepo, is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Keeper of the Light, Lone Druid, Lycan, Ogre Magi, Shadow Demon, and Troll World, or what did you say it was called? Troll Warlord. And that's enough to draft an entire game of Dota 2.
That's enough to draft.
Yep. Like you could have a game just using Nolan North characters.
Oh, how many did you mention?
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You can get away with 10.
Okay.
I'm
gonna need an answer, Nelson.
I'm sorry. I feel like this is I've got all of them right. I think I'm going to have to say, I'm going to guess that maybe he just doesn't do one of those voices. And so I'm going to guess that it is the character with 2 heads, which so therefore has 2 voices. So I'm going to say Ogre Magi. Boo.
So you missed it. It's right at the beginning. The characters in Dota 2 are actually called heroes.
Oh, right.
And not champions. Yeah. That's from League of Legends.
Shit. Yeah. That's a really,
Though I will say, to GM Ebony's credit, they actually mentioned that they knew they were going to trip you up because you would be so focused on all of the characters that you would ignore the blatant error at the beginning, which is the misnaming of what they are. Because even if you had picked up on it, you would have been like, oh, wait, no, listen to these character names,
Do you know what's funny is I'm almost certain that when you said that, in my head I was like, oh, they're called heroes.
Yeah.
But I just forgot that because there was so much, I was like, I've forgotten the part of the game, which is to point out the fault.
So this is the direct message I got from GN Ebony. Said, it's a bait and switch. He will hopefully be too focused on what character Nolan North doesn't voice act that he'll miss the pretty obvious answer. Curse his Dota 2 love and make him lose that fanboy joy.
Well, I don't think I like GM Ebony anymore.
And then when they updated the fact with the 121, it said, it's now perfectly correct for you to pwn that noob.
See, they said, though, over 121, but I think there's exactly 121,
right,
which to me means that I'm correct because I pointed that out.
Let me just check. No, yet you're right. It does say over 121. Yeah, you're right.
Well, that means that I win. Also, you said Troll World, and it's Troll Warlord. So I basically pointed out everything correctly. And really,
I've just double-checked the message. It does say Troll World. You're right. I just want to make sure that I didn't make the mistake on their behalf.
Oh, okay. It was actually that.
Yeah, it was actually that.
I thought I just pulled you up because you accidentally read it too fast.
No.
I actually got you. Vindication!
Anyway, that was Podnapping. That was actually.
That was a good one. That was a good one because I got most of them correct. It would have sucked if I got literally none of them.
Yeah.
No, but thank you for that suggestion, GM Ebony, and everybody else. Pick up your game.
And then tell us what the game is, and we'll play it on the show.
We'll play that game once you've picked it up. Now it's time for the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, will can write in and ask us anything you want.
Time for celebration. Got an email here from cousin Rowan.
Oh my God.
It says, gentlemen, my oldest son Isaac, age 8, has what he calls the Isaac code. This consists of 1, eat at least half of your tummy full in one meal. 2, only wear jeans/sweater when 5 degrees or lower. 3, never wear pants, shorts only, except for pajama pants in winter. AMA minus 92.0. What is the Nelson/Cambo code? Cheers, cousin Rowan.
First, I'd like to really put Isaac on the spot here, because I would like to think that rules 2 and 3 sort of contradict each other. Number 2, only wear a jumper/sweater when 5 degrees or lower. But then number 3, never wear pants, shorts only.
Yeah.
Except for pajama pants in winter. The only exception I can imagine to this rule. So I'm assuming he's like, oh, it's 5 degrees or lower. I'll put a jumper/sweater on, but also I'm still in shorts.
Yeah.
The only exception I can think for this, which must be the case, is that when it's 5 degrees or lower, he's wearing a jumper sweater and pajama pants. Because
I thought the exact same loophole, Nelson.
Yeah.
How would I get out of this? Well, I'd wear pajama pants all the time.
All the time. Yeah. That's so interesting. Do you know, like, because obviously I've met Isaac plenty of times, but I'm like trying to think, like, have I seen him in pants? Maybe he's always been wearing shorts.
Isaac, I want to recommend try tracksuit or sweats, as our American friends call them, pants. They're great.
Yeah.
They're super comfortable.
They're pretty good. Good. Or a onesie. Try a onesie. Yeah, that's true. It's just a big old pair of pants. That one goes all the way up to the top. Also, I quite like his first code. Eat at least half of your tummy full in one meal. I feel like that's good advice, because then you know, if you, I feel like that it's a indication to snack less is what I vibe from this. Eat bigger meals, snack less, you think is the message that Isaac is trying to get through via the Isaac code. Yeah. And I think also I'm reading into this a lot. Yeah, you are. Only 8 years old. It's interesting that comment you made about getting a tummy full. Is that something to do with intermittent fasting, perhaps, Isaac? Yeah. But I think he's also implying, again, I'm just making this up, is to not eat until you're too full. Okay. You know, in one meal, which I think is fantastic advice. I remember there was this study, I'm going to say. I have no idea, Cambo. I'm just making it up as I go. But there was a study in which they interviewed people who were very old, like upwards of 100 years kind of thing. And they asked them, you know, what made you so old? And the process of time. Yeah. Ooh. And no, it's like, how did you live so long? And they said, never eat until you're full. Because, and I just feel like that's so true, because every single listener right now has eaten at one point till they're like, man, I just feel so sick. I'm full. I'm so full. I don't want to do anything. I'm going to lay down. And I'm like, that's your body telling you that's having an effing hard time trying to process all the shit that you just ate. I would say, Nelson, we are probably going to have very short lives then, because when we used to work at the cinema, we have the gold class cinemas where we worked, which are very fancy. And there was a thing when your staff, like, you could kind of go into these sessions if they weren't too busy for free, but you had to buy a certain amount of food, which turned out to be 5 meals worth of food. And often you'd split 5 meals between 2 people, which is too much a meal for 2 people. And we did that many times. So many times. You would physically feel sick coming out of the movie because you've eaten so much food. Yeah. And it's all like deep fried stuff as well. Oh, yeah. Like, we shouldn't be alive now. I have to admit though, Cambo, it pales in comparison to having an Italian mother.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're going to drop dead any minute.
I'm on the brink of death. Yeah.
But Isaac sounds like he's going to live a very long life.
He's going to live a long time. Anyway, okay, what's our code? Well, obviously, eat until you're so full that you're going to die.
I would also say there's that mathematics thing, like, the shortest distance between 2 points, etc. We take that philosophy of ease of this podcast.
Yeah.
The 2 points are getting a podcast recorded and out. What's the shortest distance we can possibly take to do that?
Good.
Our setup now is such that we press a big red button and pretty much everything, I mean, people know we don't edit, but everything, all the sound effects and stuff, we shut up during all those so we don't have to edit them. Yeah. we just don't talk. We find the shortest distance between producing and releasing a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I think the sort of code is like avoid editing. Mm-hmm. And it's not saying we don't occasionally.
Yeah.
Very rarely we have to. Yeah. So it's avoid editing. And if you do have to edit, complain a lot about it.
But how many steps can you remove from hitting record to upload?
Yeah.
And we remove as many of them as I think we've got this down to about a 3-step process.
Yeah.
it is hit record. Okay. I would say 4 steps. Hit record, stop record. I'm going to count them as 2.
That's 2.
Yep. Upload file.
Yeah.
Publish.
Yeah. Well, download file, then upload file.
So it's 5 steps.
I reckon we
need to cut a step out here somewhere else.
Yeah. Let's not upload
it. Done.
At the end of this podcast. Or we never stop recording.
Yeah. Can we export while it's still recording?
We have been meaning to do live recordings on Twitch or something. So
we're set up for it. We have a whole streaming setup now.
Yeah.
I haven't used it.
We spent the money and invested into doing this and have not done it.
I tell you what, though, the short video clips we produce for Cancelled Movies has benefited greatly from the setup we invested in for this show.
Yeah. Is it too late for me to get a refund on the money that I spent on this? Anyway, we haven't spoken about... Oh, we had one code. Do we have more than one code? Find the loophole in everything. Code number 2.
Yeah. That's a great one. Yeah, find the loophole immediately. Okay, let's go... There's 3 here for the Isaac code, so let's have 3. 1, shortest distance between record and upload. Find that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2, find the loophole in every situation. 3, never steal our ideas.
Never steal our ideas. Yeah. We know that's like kind of a weird code to put in our own sort of thing. In our own
that code is for you.
That's how important the code is. It sort of doesn't even really make too much sense, but that's the point.
Well, I guess the code for us is make sure others don't steal your ideas.
No. That would be it, but it is don't steal.
Yeah, don't steal ideas.
Just in case somebody reads the bit of paper that we've scribbled these on, they'll read that and understand.
Yeah. Now, Nelson, we have another email here, though we're running late. Should we save this for next week, or do you want to power through? Because it's a lengthier one.
All right, we should. Yeah, because maybe I'll spend a little bit of time on this one next week.
Well, I feel like there are points to be raised here.
Yeah.
And Nelson, we need to shorten the length between record and upload. Remember that. That's rule number 1 of the Cambo and Nelson code.
Rule number 1. Exactly. All right. Yep. We'll leave it there. But thank you for writing in, Rowan and GM Ebony and all the people at Crossplays did. Thank you for doing that. Avon Cardigan and Just Judging Reddit. If you'd like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit.
Yep.
They're all READIT podcast. We'd also appreciate it if you could subscribe if you're not already. And I'm still not convinced that people listen to the podcast and don't subscribe. I'd like to know if you're one of those people. Write in.
That just maybe searches it every week.
That searches it every week. That's weird. I suppose as if it's for the once-off people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you found this weird podcast. But even if you manage to get to the end, if you're not...
here's what I'm thinking. This is my bit of advice now. Don't be a once-off person. Come back.
Don't be a once.
Come back.
Come back at least one more time.
We're happy to have you. Come on back.
Yeah. Because it only takes 2 times for people to get lost in this whatever this podcast is, this darkness that just because it consumes their body.
Yeah. By the second time, the depression's kicked in. By the third time, we're selling them antidepressants.
Yeah.
And the cycle begins.
They think they're good enough to go back for the fourth.
Oh, no, we shouldn't have recorded this, Nelson. We shouldn't have recorded this.
Nah, it's fine. Because they're still...
They need us. They need us.
They're still in a flux state. They don't know what's going on. So it's fine. But that's it. So thanks for listening, and we will read you later.